So now that we have the Eligibility Responder installed and configured, what do we do now? Well, let's take a closer look under the hood at the database. Yes, it's all connected to a database, and as we mentioned before, it works with the database and you have your covered members, which is your health plans members in special tables. We had them covered member, covered benefits, and there's also a plant table. But we also have for you a membership sample file. And this file came with the creators of the real-time concept, the CAQH and their core initiative. They had some sample data that we took and we created an importer for that. So I can just, in my case, wipe out everything, and then I load the plan, and I choose the sample file that contains the data from this core initiative. So I say process, and the input is finish. Now I have a whole bunch of members, and I have health plans with benefits. And let's see what we loaded there. So I close this window and go to Database and go to Stored Covered Members and Benefits. Let me bring it to the right size so we see what's going on. And so the query is select top 20 from covered members. And we have 20 members loaded. So what do we have here? We have a member, we have a last name and first name. We have an address. We have a member ID here. And furthermore, we have a birth date. We have agenda. Yeah, that's all we have. On the right side of the screen, we have benefits. So this person we can see here subscribes to a plan, Tennessee PCN, and service type code 30, meaning general health benefits. Without getting into specifics, we have here he is active. And then we see that remaining annual deduction for in-network individual is $50 on a different service type, COVID is 25. Remaining annual deductions in-network was the family $350 respectively. And out-of-network, we don't even have any information. So let's assume that this plan is strictly closed network. You have to look for your services inside the network or pay it for yourself. Okay, so let's look into the house plan benefits individually. The house plan benefits from PCM, we have here service type code 30. We mentioned that before and service type codes 30. And we have all kinds of different service type codes. Some of them have deductibles, some of them not. And in this case, we have, I think, 50, easily 50 individual benefits that are within the plan. That's you subscribe to. Okay, let's go through. We have Rod Beck. He has a different health plan. It is Alabama Preferred Provider Organization, and he's active there for service type code 30 and 4 and 5. He has some benefit issues on the individual level. So remaining annual and network, individual and family. And we have in this case also out of network. And you can see there is a penalty to go to an out-of-network physician. Okay, and Alabama PPOs, similar to the tendency and bunch of benefits to find. Okay, next we have David Cohen, and he is with Georgia PPO. And it is similar here. The first 4 lines are really concerned with the individual because they contain the remaining annual benefits or deductible. While we see here the health plan benefits, they apply to anybody that subscribes to Georgia PPO or Alabama PPO. In the case of the last client, let's go further. Frank Castillo is Nebraska Traditional Plan. There is just his remaining deductibles, and there is this on service type code survey. There is no differentiation between different deductibles. And again, we have here a whole lot of benefits to find here, and we have coinsurance amounts here in the last 2 columns. And so this is the way the data is structured. Let me get out of this again and come back to the database and the connection. I swing it over here. And for the membership, remember we had 3 tables, the covered members, the covered benefits, and the covered plans. And as you can see, the covered plans, they only have 4 fields. So all those benefits are defined in the benefit statements. Whether it is the individual benefits that had things like the remaining deductibles or the plan benefits, both are benefits and therefore defined in the benefits table. What is the difference? Benefits that belong to a plan have a plan name here and they don't have a member already affiliated with it. We can go back to the table scripts and going back to covered benefits. There's a member ID and then there is a plan name. If the member ID is empty, that means this is just a planned benefit and applies to anybody subscribing to this plan. It might seem a little bit strange on the first instance seeing this, that individual benefits and plan benefits are mixed, but if you really look at it, both share the same fields. So the only difference is planned benefits and individual benefits. But other than that, they have the same kind of fields that belong to benefits. So having said that, this is the way the program works, and if you plan to use it for your health plan, your task will be to fill in these 3 tables, the covered plans where I'm sure you have also in your company plans. So they can be put in and defined in the covered plans table, while the details will be in the covered benefits table. And the ED, I covered members tables. Well, it contains the member information that you certainly have. You have the member name and ID, and maybe there are other ID involved. You have their address, you have state, you have their sex, you have their birth date, where they live, right? And that's really the most important information in the search, because when eligibility request comes in, how do I match it up with the information in your covered memberships tables? Well, first there is the member ID. That's the numerical value, and we trust the member ID more than type names that might have different spellings and so on. So member ID is very important. It should be mandatory, and it is in most queries exceptions. It is the predominant element. The next thing is the last name, the member name, and the member first name. We match on that too. And we match on the sex and the birthday. So we could have 5 different fields to match on. Normally that's too much and I come back to it. You can choose how many in the Program Setter. In Program Setter you can specify what you want. Member DOB must match or not. Member gender must match or not. But then we still have ID. First name and last name must match. Okay. That is all for this video. Thank you for watching.